Welcome back! Today on the show, we are joined by a true titan of American contemporary dance, a visionary who doesn't just choreograph movement, he choreographs dynamic, uncomfortable, and deeply necessary conversations.
I try to be kind. I don't think I'm naturally kind.
Oh.
But I value kindness, and so I learned kindness from the people around me.
For over 2 decades, he has helmed Seattle's Spectrum Dance Theater as artistic director, completely redefining what it means to be a citizen artist. From his Tony Award-nominated choreography on Broadway's The Color Purple to groundbreaking creations for Alvin Ailey, Pacific Northwest Ballet, and beyond. His work continuously pushes the boundaries of stagecraft, social justice, and human truth.
So how do you see the dance world nowadays without Cazuano, without Pina Bausch? Like, in what direction, in terms of TikTok dance, do you see the world of movement and dance is going to?
Please welcome choreographer, legend, and cultural force, Donald Byrd.
We are in a really complicated age in terms of this time is complicated. We have things that are horrible things happening in the world, human beings being dehumanized.
Yes.
And then we have art that is aspiring to be transcendent, and or art that wants to remind us of our humanity because it feels like it's slipping away, or that we don't know what it means anymore to be, in some ways, to be human.
Hi, or I am in Alien Interactions with Fernan Rock, I podcast.
My invisible alien friend.
Episode 8, Dancing in the Spectrum of Kindness with Donald Byrd.
Hey, Donald!
Fernando!
Hey!
How are you?
I'm good!
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too!
It's been a while.
Oh yeah, so long!
Yeah.
It's been so long.
Yes, I remember when I first met you, you were driving an Uber, and I was your passenger.
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you remember that.
Yeah, it made an impression.
Yes, I hope it was a good one.
It was a good one. Good one.
Great.
I had a lot of goodwill towards you.
Oh, thank you so much. That means the world to me. You were so kind since the beginning. I remember I was struggling, trying to establish myself in here, in America, and I had to get any kind of job until my paperwork was processed by the government. And then I started to work as a Uber driver. And the universe is so funny that one of my first passengers, basically, I was just starting to do this kind of job. And then there you are, Donald Byrd. And I heard about you, and we started to talk. I asked, "Are you the Donald Byrd?"
Yeah.
And then I remember you being so kind, and you start to asking, "How do you know about me?"
Well, I'm glad I was kind. Kindness is something that I value. Mm-hmm. The thing that I remember about most people in my life, the people that I remember in my life were the people that were kind to me. Kindness is valuable in terms of human qualities and attributes. It's a great thing to be kind. So I try to be kind. I don't think I'm naturally kind.
Oh.
But I value kindness, and so I learned kindness from the people around me. Mm-hmm. And so I practice kindness.
Oh, that's great. That's amazing. Yeah. I think if more people practice kindness, the world would be better to live in. But now you made me curious. I understand. I'm from theater, so I can imagine what you mean about not being kind. Do you mean that you are, as a choreographer, as a director, sometimes you you can be very, you know what you want to get from the dancers.
Right.
So,
I don't mean that way kindness. That's just demanding.
oh, okay.
But I mean kindness in terms of in my life, and kindness means means having compassion, empathy for other human beings. And I find myself often looking at, what do they call them now? You can't say homeless, you don't say homeless, you say unhoused people. And I have such, my heart kind of goes out to them. And so, like interacting with people who have had unfortunate things in their life and trying to treating them with kindness and compassion is the least I can do. And that's really important for me, to acknowledge their humanity. And so one of the things that I always do is if they say something to me, or if I will respond, and I will look them in the eyes and respond, and just acknowledge their humanity as much as I can. A young homeless man, I was having coffee, I was sitting outside, and he just wanted to talk. So I started talking to him. And then I discovered that he didn't, his clothes were kind of falling off. He was in really bad shape. So I gave him some money. He asked me for like just a little bit of money, but I gave him a lot of money. And he was kind of surprised by that. He didn't. But I thought, well, it was money that I had gotten over a year ago. I was traveling somewhere, it's my per diem. And so I hadn't spent it, and it was still in my wallet. So I said, well, I was supposed to have spent this a year ago, so I can just give it to him. So I did. So to me, I think I was being kind.
Yeah.
That was a kind moment.
I definitely had these moments when I met you, because I remember you offered me space.
Yes.
That beautiful studio for 6 months.
Yeah.
With no charge, as a residency, artistic residency.
Yeah.
And this meant the world to me. I planned my schedule to be here as much as I could, because I was at the time struggling to make money to keep with the life costs in here. And I remember we were very patient to listen to my story, and I as you said, you just listen. I witness your what you're saying, your compassion. So I'm very grateful for that, and I honor you take the time to have this conversation now again, giving me a little bit of your time. I know how busy you are. And speaking of that, what are you doing in the moment? Like what Spectrum is producing? We're ending the season, right?
We're ending the season. The performance part of the season is already over, but the kind of business part, we have a couple more months before that finishes, and then we go into the next season. This past season, I still am interested in, right now, as it's evolving in my mind about what it is, I'm really interested in the impact of AIDS on artists and artistic work, what it didn't, and the artistic imagination, what that did. And I've been thinking a lot about friends that I had that when I lived in New York that have died from AIDS. And so I want to do something this season. It's not like memorializing them, but it's in some ways it's like the thing about them that I was so drawn to. I had one friend was the most incredible dancer, and I just loved him. He was so much fun, and I thought at the time when he was diagnosed with AIDS, I mean, at the time, nobody knew what it was, and so they didn't know what to call it. Later, it was called AIDS. But the thing that I remember about it was that, and people were saying, oh, this is God's way of punishing people for, and I just said, this man was the most amazing person, and God would not do that. So it has nothing to do with God.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking a lot about that.
In your entire career, you always were driven by themes that is very, that emerge from societal issues like racism and climate change, and you mentioned AIDS, and it just crossed my mind. You passed through 2 terrible pandemics.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to compare, but just to make an analysis, a personal analysis. Do you think which one was more cruel to our profession, to our industry?
Was more cruel?
Yeah,
Is that the word you used?
devastating.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think the AIDS epidemic felt more immediate in some ways. I mean, because it was like people that I knew around me dying.
Yeah.
With the recent epidemic, COVID, I didn't know anybody that died.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there were actions that were being. I mean, obviously, at the beginning of it, there's a lot. Similarly, there was a lot of fear about like what's going to happen, and I didn't know, but for some reason it didn't frighten me the same way because I saw that. Our government and different, the medical profession in general kind of jumped at the opportunity to do something, and were doing something. So it was just a matter of time, it seemed, before there would be some sort of solution. And so the, what do they call them? The shots, the
vaccines?
The vaccines, like the vaccines kind of, I knew that they were working on the vaccine, like many of us, we knew that that's what was happening. And so hope was always just a little bit that way, but there was hope. And I think during the AIDS epidemic, it felt hopeless, and it was just more and more people dying. I had a doctor, a physician that I saw, and he passed away.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I mean, he was a very kind man. There's that word again. He was kind.
Yeah.
He was very kind. And so I was sad when he passed away, just because one of the things about him that I liked was anytime I would go to see him, when I left, I felt better. Even if there was nothing, whether it was something or nothing. I remember once I saw these things on my skin, and I thought, oh my God, maybe, and then there were tests to test for HIV, but that's all there was. There was a test. There was nothing you could do except that you knew. And so I had not taken the test. And so these things showed up on my skin, and I thought, oh my God, I have Kaposi. And so I went to see him to find out if that's what it was. And he kind of looked at it, and he smiled. He goes, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's anything. He says, but I would recommend that you just maybe use an antibacterial soap. I mean, so it was a kind of sense of humor. He was a nice person.
Oh, this is the best doctors.
Yeah.
The ones that really see you and try to address it, even in a humorous way, which is ideal.
Yeah.
Since the Greeks always said that a play could heal, right? So why not a joke? Why not use it as a medicine?
Yeah.
Like being playful and make a joke, and it could maybe help a little bit to heal.
Yeah.
Which wasn't the case. You were not sick
Yeah.
at the time.
But what did he do? I would say he humored me.
Yeah.
He humored me. He didn't say, "Oh, you're crazy." He just,
Yeah.
he goes, "Well, okay." He goes, "If you'd like me to do some tests, I can, but I don't think it's necessary." And, he was like that. He was wonderful.
Yeah. Well, and I just one more thing about these two pandemics that crossed my mind, because when you were saying I was too young when the AIDS hit the world. I remember, but I was too young. I was a child, and it's still to this day, right? It's still. What I was thinking is, did they close the theaters during the pandemic, during AIDS?
No, they didn't
they
close the
didn't.
theaters.
But people were kind of afraid to go, right?
Well, I think people weren't so much afraid to go to the theater. They were afraid to be around or near someone that they thought might have AIDS. Because, there's so many people that died not from the disease, but they committed suicide because when they found out that they were infected, they knew what the suffering was like that went along with that. And so they chose to end their own lives. Yeah. And there's a person that I worked with briefly in San Francisco. It had so much life and vitality. He was, I think at the time I was about, when this was in 80 something, I would have been in my 30s, obviously, but I think he just had so much vitality and enthusiasm for life and for living. And then I found out he had committed suicide. I met him, and then 2 months later, I found this out. So the despair that people felt, and the suffering people suffered. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's devastating, and it's revolting to think that we're still not having a cure.
No.
Or maybe some people say we probably do for a very long time.
Yeah.
But it's not being given to.
Yeah.
To
but
us,
what
to
we
people.
have is we do have treatments now.
Yeah.
So that if you adhere to the treatments, the chances are you won't die from AIDS. You might die from something else, but not from that. And so it's not a hopeless situation.
No.
People,
not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah. Not anymore.
Have you ever looked around in a crowded room, a new city, or even your own life, and realize you don't fit the blueprint? Like you're speaking a language everyone hears, but nobody actually understands. We've all been there. Made to feel like an outsider, the otherness in a world that demands quick assimilation. That is exactly why you need to click the link below right now to claim your spot on the VIP launch list. My name is Fernan Rock, and my upcoming book is my memoir as Fernando Rocha, my legal alter ego. Alien They Made Me is a non-fiction memoir with a surreal cinematic twist. In the raw, unfiltered story of navigating cultural borders, dismantling systemic boxes, and surviving the absurd, comedy, adventurous, sometimes dramatic, and even tragic cross-realities of the American dream. If you're a reader who craves deep, boundary-pushing nonfiction and hybrid narratives that read like an indie movie, head over to our landing page immediately to secure your VIP status. We are launching this Kickstarter campaign to bring this book to life entirely independently, creating a stunning premium edition you won't find anywhere else. But the journey starts before day one. By joining our inner circle today, you get exclusive launch discounts, early access to limited edition rewards, and a front row seat to the creative process. Don't wait for the crown drop
your email in the link below this video to become a VIP before the launch. This isn't just a book launch, it's a community for anyone who ever refused to blend in on systemic oppressive social conventions or narrow-minded or sometimes even cynical dehumanizing mindsets. The countdown has officially begun, and the VIP list closes soon. Take your place at the table, back an authentic new voice, and click the link right now to subscribe, join the campaign, and secure your exclusive VIP rewards. Well, switching gears a little, I learned that you first study, you registered yourself for dance classes only at 19, is that right?
That's right.
Yeah. And before that, you were doing theater or drama?
Well, I did. Well, it's kind of like, so before, yes, around that time I was doing theater, I was doing drama, and that's what I did. And I loved it, but it led me to dancing.
Okay.
The theater did. Because, when as a performer, the directors and things would say to me, "Oh, you're a mover."
Oh.
So they'd always make me move in the production. And so I said, okay. So my first inclination was then, okay, I'll take dance classes because that'll help my moving. And so that's one of the ways that I kind of got into dance. And also, it was something I was interested in anyway, but my first love in terms of the theatrical arts was as an actor and then as a director. That's what I really wanted to do. And then I discovered dance, and dance took over. It consumed me. And so, and I could not, I tried to reject it. I tried, I could not.
You couldn't?
Yeah.
I relate with that because my background in theater was in physical theater as well. And watching your rehearsals, I saw so many connections. The way you interact, it reminds me a lot about Pina Bausch as well, because I see you.
Well, that's a compliment.
But of course, you, for me, I witness your work and here in this studio, and I could see your mastery, and all my respects for your body work, right, in your history. And the thing that I noticed was how you try to connect the intentions of the dancer with the movements. Yeah. So they will own that movement and do it in a different way that is more vivid and present, and they will be their own in some way. So I can relate and see the connection you made on drama, in acting, and moving, like this drama teachers pointed out, and made you find your path in dance, right? So how do you see the dance world nowadays without Kazuo, without Pina Bausch? Like, in what direction, in terms of TikTok dance, you see the world of movement and dance is going to?
That's a complicated question, I think. I think there are two ways that I might respond to that. One of them is if we compare the dancing to what we see on TikTok, to TikTok dances, they are simple dances. I mean, they're fun, but they're simple, and they don't, their intention is not to engage you any more than to get a kind of visceral response from the viewer that is about fun, about youthfulness, and and that's primarily where it lives. But then the other thing about dance right now is I see in the dance that's on the stage, concert dance, is that there's a emphasis now, it seems to me, on scale, on really big things. So people like Crystal Pite, and the movement is, everybody wants to do what I call choral movement. It's like dozens of people moving in unison, doing the same thing, or kind of phased movement. But it's about this big ensemble of people, and it's kind of like that. And the feeling of the movement kind of washes over you and consumes you that way. But the individual is gone. You don't get a sense of an individual. It's always the group. It's about the group. That's kind of interesting given where we live, the world we are, the other part of our world, about the group. Everybody's part of the group. You don't have any individuality. And so I think that's interesting. Yeah. There's a couple of thoughts that I've had about that, is that one of the things that it does, it's spectacle. It creates spectacle with all these people doing all of this movement. And for dance companies, the spectacle, in the past, the spectacle would have been created by sets, scenic elements and lots of music and costumes and all of that. And now it's a lot of people. And so in some ways that's better, because the money is being spent on people.
Yes.
Is being spent on the dance artists, as opposed to on scenic elements and costumes. But that's beautiful. I like that. I'm not poo-pooing that. But it's just that the notion of scale, that the individual in these productions is minimized. The individual person is minimized as a small person, and they are consumed by this big group of people. And I think sometimes in our culture right now, we kind of feel like that a little bit, that our individuality, people have to fight for their individuality, for their distinctiveness, and because all of this group stuff is kind of takes over.
Wow. That's a very deep take. And how the world of dance and arts kind of reflect this on stage. That's powerful.
Yeah.
And in some ways it can reinforce that, or reveal, even denounce.
Yeah.
Like, hey, everybody is aware that we are going that direction, right? It could be a warning.
Warning, yeah.
It could be a warning.
Yes.
Right?
And it's interesting that artists are picking that up. Like they're kind of revealing something to us, and in this abstract kind of way. But it's frightening to think about it, that where has the person gone? Where has the individual gone? It's all about the I don't want to say the sheep mentality, but it's something, that
masses.
Yeah, mass kind of following kind of thing. And, and actually on stage that can be really interesting, vivid, frightening imagery of that. And people can take pleasure in watching all of that. I mean, and also that it takes as a craftsman, that it takes a lot of craft to be able to construct something like that. So we can be kind of overwhelmed by the incredible craftsmanship of making a piece like that, where it's just all about all those large numbers of people moving around on the stage that way.
It kind of reminds me this tribalism as well, which dance came from, right? From this space of the sacred, the religious, and the cult mentality of sacredness, of this big circle of people moving like the Indian dance, for example, there is a lot of the synchronisms and people moving in a very coordinated way and in unison. It's related to this imagery. I'm thinking of how could dance in this world that is pointing out in direction of such artificial way to live, and so much artificiality in the relations and the way we are incorporating technology into our lives and becoming even more artificial and less human in our interactions, even in the way we express ourselves and move, with less spontaneity, less robotic or coordinated ways to express, which again, it comes to mind Pina Bausch and remembering the last works that I watched from you, this movement that comes from inside and is fulfilled with intentions and human intentions. They usually, it's more fluid and in terms of human or organic in some way, because again, this kind of dance that we see on TikTok, or this kind of dance that we are seeing following this more automatic, repetitive ways to choreograph, brings us to this word of artificiality, computerization, and in a more mechanical way to obey, like a body that obey only.
Yeah, I think there are two things that you said earlier about you said robotic and mechanical, and it is biomechanical. It's not like machine mechanical, but the body, in some ways, people are imitating machines in some ways, and then there's the organic way of moving, or trying to move in an organic way. So it's organic and synthetic, and I think right now we live in a time where we are fascinated by the synthetic, by the what's not real. I mean, like artificial intelligence. I mean, we think of intelligence traditionally about coming from organic beings, and but now we're saying there is synthetic intelligence, and it mimics what organic intelligence does, but it's not the same thing, but it still fascinates us. I mean, I know it fascinates me. I'm really interested in it, and like I actually was in this with this group of people about it was a group that was looking at art and technology, and with one of the thoughts that we had was this idea. It was that there was, and in terms of performance, for example, the technology could be used to actually where it's enhancing in some ways the scale and the scope of what the dance and what the stages, what the theater is doing. And then there's the other part of it that is there that you can engage with it in order to, it's kind of like a study partner. And you engage with the AI that way, not for looking for original ideas, but for it, you are bouncing ideas off it, and it's responding, and then there's a kind of dialogue that happens. So I think we are in a really complicated age in terms of this time is complicated. We have things that are horrible things happening in the world, human beings being dehumanized, and then we have art that is aspiring to be transcendent, and or art that wants to remind us of our humanity because it feels like it's slipping away, or that we don't know what it means anymore to be, in some ways, to be human. I mean, those are the kinds of things right now that kind of have grabbed my attention. I don't know what to do with it.
You're not the only. You're not alone on that. I think we are all figuring out what to do with that. Wow, that's powerful. That's a powerful way to look at it. Thank you, Donald. Well, coming to an end of this conversation, you mentioned about the youthfulness that is so much evoked and praised all the time in our times, to the point of putting aside and I'll even discriminate the elderly or people, let's say adults, and not saying just elderly, but if you're more than 30, it's kind of, what's the term for that? They have a term.
Ageism,
which is something from this time. I didn't grow up with ageism. When I was young, I wish I looked older. I want to try to appear older so many times because I admire people that are older than me, they're wiser than me, and this generation is kind of the opposite. They're trying to left behind people who live more and have more experience of life. And what are your thoughts about what are your thoughts about this kind of way to think of ageism and this how this generation looks to the past generations?
I think about it a lot. I mean, I'm going to be, how old am I going to be? 77 in less than a month. And I kind of notice now how I am engaged with or not engaged with by younger people. And so it's being, you are invisible to them. Number one, that's how it appears to me. One is invisible to them, or you are dismissed as not being interesting or having anything worthwhile about you. I mean, and I don't think it's done in a kind of malicious way. It's not malicious, it's just like, you know. So what it's caused me to do is to investigate for myself, to look at and think about. So as an older artist, how are my concerns different than concerns of these younger people? And so we were talking about you were saying like this isn't new, actually. Back in the 60s, the Flower Childs and all of that stuff, that was about a kind of youth-driven kind of way of thinking and perspective or worldview that's driven by youthfulness. And and we're still in the United States, we have stayed attached to that, like everything being centered around youthfulness. And so what we're seeing now is the result of however many years was that? 60 years of that fascination with with young. And so the whole thing with the plastic surgery, that people use plastic surgery to kind of hold on to their youth. But when you look at, they look like monsters. They have mutilated themselves in this pursuit of a young face. And it's not really a young face. And so I think my concerns, when I say concerns, my artistic concerns right now, I'm trying to incorporate the idea of being an older person into what I'm doing. That I'm definitely not interested in the stuff that I was interested in when I was in my 20s, my 30s, even 40s, even. I'm just not interested in those things anymore. And so I'm trying to find a way to articulate what I am actually interested in right now as somebody that's in their late 70s. So, and the thing is that, like, how to do it in a way without being morbid. because like death definitely is part of the thinking when you get to a certain age. You know, I had a friend from when I was 14 who just died last week, and it was just like somebody that I'd known for a long time, one of the, you know, and kind of admired, and was one of my best friends in my late teens and stuff. And I just, you know, he just died suddenly. And so death is a part of my internal conversation. But do I want to make works about death? I mean, maybe, but do I want to bum people out? You know, just kind of like, let's talk about death. But I have a friend, he has a program that he does, let's have dinner and talk about death. And so I guess there is a way of doing that where it actually contributes to your aliveness, to your sense of who you are and your aliveness, and is not something that is necessarily depressing.
Although it's part of all of us' life, and we know that's our fate.
Yeah.
It's something when we are young, we don't think it.
We don't think about it. Yeah.
We don't think about it. This is something we don't feel that will happen with us ever.
Yeah.
Right? We live so absorbed in this energy and from the youth that we have. I don't know. It's hard to be human, knowing that, and maybe it's a blast to not being so aware for a while.
Yeah.
And so you keep going, and then in some point of life you could make peace of all that is.
Yeah.
Right. And as artists, find a way to express that. So many artists nowadays are trying to conciliate with that idea, and broke that taboo of talking about death.
Yeah.
We are so afraid and avoid at all costs to talk about death.
Yeah.
Right? I recently watched this work from Pedro Almodovar with Tilda.
Yeah.
And Juliette Moore. It's a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
I recommend. Well, Donald, do you want to say any final words to say to finish our conversation?
No final words other than it's great to see you.
It was so great to see you too.
Yeah.
And I hope to see the next season to be more present, and be more close to the work you're doing, because I'm fascinated. I really admire you as a person and you as an artist. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking me.
Oh,
Yeah.
my pleasure.
All right.